Taylor Swift's alleged stalker arrested following an incident in her New York home. Now, the last time we talked about Taylor Swift, it's been a minute. So, this was at the end of last year, and we were kind of discussing the fact that Taylor's new album, Red,
Re-recordings.
right? She was basically re-recording her record, and we talk. And so, if you want to watch that, just search "Top Music Attorney Taylor Swift." But we go at length of discussing how it works, why she's able to re-record her album, and the fact that Universal had a pretty surprising response to that. So that was the last time we touched on what's going on with Taylor Swift.
And she's
But
inspiring other artists to do that. We also covered
that's
Ashante, who
right.
has
That's right.
inspired the same path.
Ashanti is indeed going down the same kind of path. And so, as far as artists kind of re recording their music because they don't own the masters after they have signed the deal with the record label, but this is a way for them to kind of take control and autonomy over their legacy again. Very interesting. And Taylor Swift, as always, leading the way, but she's also dealing with some stalkers. All right, so the man who is allegedly stalking Taylor Swift outside her building in New York City last month has been arrested, and this was on the 1st of July, I believe. Joshua Christian. He was taken into custody on Friday, 3 weeks after a scary incident in which he attempted to gain access to her residence and threatened to hurt the singer if she refused to be with him. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, you see, there's a couple pictures. I don't know. The images is kind of small, but he's got this whole Charles Manson thing going on too. Which, you know, I don't know. Like, if you are going through all of this trouble of trying to stalk Taylor Swift or not
And
even stalk.
proclaim your
I don't even like
love. Let's proclaim your
I don't.
love.
Let's
Or
just let's take
something.
let's take stalking off because that's not even the path I really want to go. If you want to be noticed by Taylor Swift, if you want to be, like, oh, that'd be really dope if I was friends with Taylor Swift, or maybe one day I'd like to date Taylor Swift. I don't know. I've never seen her date anybody that has. She's dated a lot of people, and I've never seen her date somebody with hair or a look like that. So you think he'd maybe want to fit the role, so maybe he might have a shot. I mean, he's going in there pretty unkempt, trying to stalk her out. I don't know what he's expecting anyway.
Well, this isn't the first person
Stalker.
stalker, but I guess with this one, he actually went to a building. This was on in March, so he went to one of her buildings. The door was unlocked, and he actually went in. And then this most
Scary.
recent incident of just showing up, and then he called in right through the call box and was, I guess, actually speaking with someone inside of the apartment. So, definitely very, very scary, and I feel bad. We don't know if she was actually in the apartment when this happened, but someone
No.
had that interaction.
So no, there was a neighbor because I think he lived on the block or something like that. I read a neighbor of his was saying that he which just always gave her kind of weird vibes, and that he was trying to like when went to renew his lease in the building, they were just kind of like, dude, you're kind of giving off weird vibes. But they said they know that Taylor Swift lives on the block, but she's hardly ever in that house. Like, she mostly stays like somewhere else. So, but either way, it's what's scary is just how accessible people kind of make themselves, or how accessible, not even that they make themselves, that people just kind of are. Like, it's kind of worth trying to go through your stuff and trying to, protect your identity and stuff like that, because I don't know, it's scary. People are taking a lot of liberties with we're hearing a lot of like these stalking. I mean, we've always heard them, but it's scary stuff, man.
So, Duke on YouTube, is stalking worth a lawyer's time, though? I feel like that's a police issue. So, often what you want to do when you're dealing with a stalker situation is you go and get a restraining order, right? So, an injunction against harassment. It might be called something different in your state, but often the court wants you to come in person. They don't even want to talk to an attorney. They want you to come before the judge, and you'll submit your evidence and be like, this is why I'm concerned. Here are text messages, here are emails, here are letters, whatever it is. I mean, Kim Kardashian, we just talked about that recently, right? She had to get one because this guy was sending her, almost like a dozen letters, and he was not only saying things of a romantical nature and kind of putting them in that position, but, saying he's going to do bad things to her and her kids, right? So, number one, you want to get a restraining order, but sometimes you got to come, that additional step. Maybe you do need to file some kind of lawsuit, but in most cases, you want to get, a court order saying you have to stay, or that person has to stay away from you, or they get arrested.
Listen, and if I can offer just kind of like a pro tip to people, and this is, and stalking isn't something that just happens to women. You hear plenty of guys are getting stalked too. So this isn't like a female issue. This isn't a man. You know, this is a people
Well,
issue.
very good point. So we were talking about DaBaby, right? So a fan
Right.
had was trespassing on his property, was like scaling the wall, and DaBaby ended up shooting the trespasser, right? So
Right.
in the same kind of way, you have call it whatever you want. You have kind of a crazed fan or a super fan who's maybe just trying
But
to
you don't
meet
even
their
have to be.
hero.
But you don't even have to be a fan, like, you know, because it's celebrity is defined very differently these days. You don't have to be a rapper, you don't have to be an actor to be a celebrity. You could have a nice following on your Instagram page that you're trying to promote. So my pro tip is, if you're ever getting vibes from somebody, make a like a Word document or something and detail those people's information if you ever need it, so you have records of when people are harassing you and stuff like that. You know, just have it ready, because you never know. And I just really want everybody to be safe. There's, like I said, people are putting more and more of themselves out there. Make sure your locations and stuff are turned off on your social media, so when you're posting, like, you're not, you know, you're not going, hey, I'm here, you know, at this time. Like, just be safe out there. Like, being safe is not just for like 11-year-olds on the internet, it's for adults too.
And one last thing, just kind of a random note as it relates to Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift a couple weeks ago, she was talking, or I should say, People magazine published an article talking about how Taylor Swift's like, I have imposter syndrome about being a director, right? So a film director, and she's taken charge of a lot of her recent music videos. And so she was like, you know, I'm kind of in this weird position where I haven't been going to school for this. I'm not properly trained, but
That's
this is
fine.
something I really would love to do and be like a feature film director. And as I was watching her All Too Well, the short
Mhm.
film, you know, which was one of her directing debuts, Sadie Sink was starring in it. And I wasn't aware of this until now, but Sadie Sink, so being Max in Stranger Things, right? So that we were talking about
That's
in a prior
full
segment.
circle. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that's great, and I think that that should be inspiring to everybody. Like, just do it. You know, I wasn't always a music producer until I started producing music. You know, you have to go through whatever you want to do, and just because you don't feel like you have to go to school to do something, especially if it has something to do with the arts. Arts are a little bit different. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it's like
something.
every great everything. They're always like, "Oh, I dropped out of high school and never went back, and now I'm like the greatest film producer or music producer." Like, so you'll be fine. You just need to get those 10,000 hours of skill training in
That's
your
it.
skill of choice.
Most of any kind of, just trying to get into any kind of entertainment industry, or just any kind of field with artistic, or just anything generally like that, is just, you got to have the drive and the motivation and the heart. Like, that's what does it, and the ability to want to learn and not getting discouraged and working when all your friends are kind of going out and getting drunk. You're hanging out working on whatever your craft is. Like, that's how you do it. And, you know, edit videos. I do, you know, I've edited plenty of music videos, and, you know, directed videos and all kinds of stuff. I didn't know how to do that until I was in a position where I had to learn how to do that. And then I got better at it, and now
Yeah,
I can do
right.
it. So
No,
just,
even
you
for
know,
my stuff, right? I was talking to someone over the weekend about this, and I was just like, I've directed the majority of my music videos, not because I'm like, ooh, I want to be, you know, a director. It's just I'm very clear on my vision. I write the treatments, and then, you know, if I don't have someone to kind of fill that position, I just do it, and you know, and that's just a comfortable position for me because I'm a bossy lady.